Hi there, I'm Will Studd, and thanks for watching. Here's another episode of Cheese Slices from our archives, proudly brought to you by Will Studd Selected Cheese.
Triple cream, Stilton cheddar, Emmental, mozzarella, camembert. I love a vegetam de cheese. Parmigiano Reggiano, Roquefort Brie de Meaux, and Montegoro, River Blue and Gouda. Asiago, Wesley, Dale, Rockland, Reblochon, Halloumi, Feta, Gorgonzola cheese. Oh, Montreal Jack, Pecorino, Swiss Gruyere. I love a vegetam de cheese.
The province of British Columbia has been well known for its stunningly beautiful mountains, rivers and coastline for at least 150 years. But it's only in recent times that this unique region of Canada has developed a reputation for its food culture. And that, of course, includes artisan cheese.
British Columbia, or BC as locals more commonly know it, is the most westerly province in Canada and was originally named by Queen Victoria in 1858 after the Columbia district of the Hudson's Bay Company. The province officially became part of the Canadian Federation in 1871. And its economy today is largely based on the service industry and the abundant natural resources of timber, oil and minerals. My starting point is the state's largest city, Vancouver, home to more than 4.5 million people and built around a stunning natural harbour ringed by majestic mountains. Early on my first morning in town, I headed off to meet the ferry at Horseshoe Bay to take me to Vancouver Island on Canada's far west coast. The mild climate and location of this beautiful island is a favourite for international tourists and Vancouver locals who want to escape the city and enjoy the great outdoors.
All the things you give me, it's time to say goodbye.
In 1999, the enterprising Gourlay family returned here from Switzerland, where they'd been living for a few years, and decided they wanted to create a working farm and cheese dairy.
We were looking for a coastal area, a lot of moisture, cooler, grows great grass and easy on the cows. It's sort of isolated unto itself. It's an island, and islanders are loyal to their own.
Do you want me to get this?
Sure, thank you.
Clark explained that all the milk for cheesemaking comes from his small mixed herd of Holstein, Ayrshire, Brown Swiss and Canadian dairy cows. In spring, they graze on fresh grass from the property, and in winter, their feed is supplemented.
When we first started, we had hardly 2 nickels to rub together, and we needed to buy some more cows, so we offered to let our customers buy the cows for us. And so they would give us $2,000. We'd go out and buy a cow in their name, and then we promised to look after it and milk it. And a cow has a calf every year, so we sell the calf and give the proceeds to the owner.
Wow, so they get return on their money too?
Yeah, and we keep the cow.
Wow, that's a good deal.
So we're babysitting most of these cows. They're not actually ours.
Being open to the public means there are plenty of other animals at Morningstar Farm, and also a small shop that sells their cheeses and other farm-made products. The cheesemaking all happens in the dairy next door, and it's clear that a lot of care and planning goes into making them. So I was very keen to try some, along with their unique homemade berry wine.
It really is wine, unless it's morning and then it's fruit juice. But it's about 10% alcohol.
Yeah?
We actually have a cranberry wine as well, which is even more tart.
Okay.
So that's our Rathtrevor.
Yeah.
That's a raw milk cheese. We age it for about a year. It's washed for 3 or 4 months before it's packaged.
Well, this is my favourite, Rathtrevor. That's really, really tasty. No extras, just pure
just the
raw
cheese
milk,
on
just
its
a
own.
real Providence.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep,
really
that's
nice.
it.
Thank you.
Cheers. Thank you for joining us on the farm.
It's been a pleasure.
Having successfully downed my first taste of berry wine and plenty of good cheese at Little Qualicum, my next destination required a flight via Seaplane, so I headed back to the city and down to the main harbour to meet my pilot. We're flying to an island southwest of Vancouver called Salt Spring, well known for its alternative artists, sculptors, musicians, and of course its cheese.
This is Galliano that we're just crossing over now. And then this is Salt Spring. The island was first settled by black slaves that had been freed from the Americas and took up land on the island, as well as a group of Hawaiians that came over, Japanese that came over, and they had to clear the land. Forestry was very prevalent, fishing was, and agriculture. So once the land was cleared, Salt Spring was well known for its dairy and fruit production, more so than the Okanagan. So at the turn of the century, the early 1900s, this was a very important dairy and fruit producing area. When I think of the places you could live in the world, the country that I'd like to live in, it would be Canada. Where in Canada? Probably on the West Coast. Where on the West Coast? On Salt Spring.
The two dairies that I've come to visit sell their cheese at the popular local markets held each Saturday from Easter weekend to late October. So I decided to see if I could meet the producers and taste some cheese before heading to the farms.
Hey, you must be David.
And you must be Will.
Yeah,
well,
how do you do?
Very well, thank you. And you?
Great, this looks fantastic.
Well, it is fantastic.
This is your famous Montana.
Yeah, it is.
I've been hearing all about this. No, I'd love to have a taste.
All right.
David Wood is the owner of Salt Spring Island Cheese. And after sampling some of the dairy's delectable cheeses, I organised to meet him later on the property where he promised to cook me something unusual using his cheese. In the meantime, I'd arranged to visit the Moonstruck Organic Cheese Dairy, and after a quick visit to their stall, I headed off to the farm a few miles up the road. What makes Moonstruck Organic Cheese unique is the dedication of Julia and Susan Grace, who've been producing organic cheese here since 1998. So, tell me about these cows. How many have you got?
I've got just over 20. I have 18 milking, so they're giving us a lot of milk every day, and it's just a lovely, lovely cow to make cheese out of. It's a sweet milk, and Julia makes a lot of blue cheeses. And, you know, the sharpness of the blue plus the sweetness of the milk is really just makes an exceptional blue. And the mouthfeel of the cheese is very nice, too.
Okay.
Creamy.
Well, let's go and have a look.
Yep.
Yeah.
Scooping time.
Scooping time.
At Moonstruck, Susan looks after the cows and manages the farm, and Julia is the cheesemaker.
This cheese is White Grace, the first cheese that I ever made. It's an English-style peasant cheese. Spends a long time in the vat, no heating, no pressing, just a lot of stirring and gentle handling, draining. Presses under its own weight for 2 days. We scrape it.
Right. And this curd here looks beautiful. So that's raw milk?
This is raw milk.
Right.
And with Jersey milk, Jersey has the cream top, comes to the top of the milk. It does that because it's a very large fat globule. It's a really, really easy thing to smash. Then you end up with rancidity, and so this kind of milk and this kind of, just doesn't lend itself very well to industrial cheese making. It needs this careful, careful, careful handling.
Moonstruck are particularly well known for their range of blue cheeses, so I asked Julia if I could try one.
Still smells beautifully sweet.
And it has a lot of acidity, this cheese. I sell a tremendous amount of it to winemakers because it pairs with virtually any wine.
You're right, it is acid, but it's also really creamy. It's delicious, really lovely.
Thank you.
The quality of the raw milk cheeses made on Moonstruck Farm is superb. And they're a testament to just how hard the owners have worked to create a healthy environment for their cows. Using simplicity as a principle, they've created a fine collection of exceptional cheeses and seem very content to continue focusing on quality above quantity. A quick drive up the road from Moonstruck, and I soon arrived at the Salt Spring Island farm, where they've specialised in making goat and sheep's milk cheeses since 1994. The dairy brings in milk each day from surrounding properties and turns this into a full range of cheese styles. These include a flavoured Feta and the delicious mild hard sheep's milk cheese known as Montana, which I tried at the market. There are also several Washed-Rind cheeses, and one of their most popular sellers is a variety of flavoured fresh goat's cheese, beautifully presented in small tubs. After watching cheese production take place inside the dairy, it was time to join David in the farm kitchen for a home-cooked lunch.
We have a tomato sauce, a base for a dish with shrimp and fennel and feta cheese. And what's in here is olive oil, garlic, and fresh local tomatoes, just stewed down till they're nice and juicy in flavour.
Smelling absolutely delicious.
They do, don't they? And quite a bit of salt too.
Okay, let's braise the fennel.
Braise the fennel, just to soften it up. I could have maybe cut it in smaller pieces.
Beautiful fennel, look at that.
Isn't it? It's
local fennel from the island?
Yeah, well, tiny baby fennel, just the beginning of the season. I think we can stir these guys
some beautiful local shrimp.
Yeah, you want to stir those in, and I'm going to cut the...
the most important thing of the lot.
Well, not really, but it's just the sort of little edge that sort of livens the whole thing up. So this is the chili feta.
And that's olive oil around the outside?
It is, yeah, olive oil. Okay, those things look cooked to you.
Yeah, I reckon they're just about done.
Yeah.
You don't want them overdone, that's for sure.
Yeah. I think we want a bit more. And then we'll just put the feta in.
I suppose being goat's milk, it won't melt.
No, it's not going to melt. I mean, first of all, we're not going to give it time to melt.
Yeah, but it probably won't anyway, because goat's milk's one of those funny milks that doesn't melt easily.
Okay, I think we're good to go. So,
plate it up. Beautifully done. Taste it. That smells superb.
There you go. Lick your fingers and get in there.
So here we go.
Yeah, you can start with the veggies and work your way up to the shrimps.
And of course the feta. Sweet, lovely, lovely goat flavour on the end of that. Fantastic.
That's good. When you get the feta and the shrimps together, it's really good.
Yeah. Absolutely superb.
Great, well, thank you.
Thank you. I'm really excited about the next dairy on my list. It's situated here in the beautiful Fraser Valley, and it's one of the only dairies making clothbound cheddar in Canada. Surrounded by lush mountain scenery, the Farmhouse Natural Cheeses Dairy was started by Debra Boys, a fellow member of the prestigious Guilde de Fromagère. With a small herd of brown Swiss, Guernsey and Holstein cows, Debra and her family and staff have created a thriving business and make a range of traditional cheese styles, including a clothbound cheddar that's typically aged for a minimum of 6 months. Hey, Debra!
Well, how are you?
Nice to see you.
Good to see you too. Thanks for coming.
After entering the hallowed walls of Debra's all-girl dairy, I was quickly put to work helping with the larding and wrapping process.
This is all-girl dairy, isn't it?
All girls.
Yeah. Guys just don't have a chance. I'm not going to be here for long, that's for sure.
Yeah, so, it just seems to work out that it's all girls that work here, but it's a really
and all
fun
locals?
Environment. I wasn't born here, but I obviously live here now.
Yeah. And what's the valley like to live in?
In Agassiz, it's very quiet, but it's pretty busy like in other parts. This is sort of like kind of like a secret tucked away part of the valley. It's like you cross the bridge and you're in a different little land. This lard forms a protective coating.
So it allows a symbiotic relationship between the mould and what's happening inside, and allows the cheese to dry out.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but not too much.
Once wrapped, our fresh cloth-bound cheddar goes into a special maturation room until it's deemed ready to eat.
These cheeses are around 4 months old and they've developed this beautiful mould around the outside. They'll spend around 6 more months in this cold room and then they'll be taken out, the cloth will be pulled off, and inside there should be a beautiful moist cheddar with a lovely savoury tang.
In addition to cheddar, Debra's dairy also produces several blue cheeses and a goat's cheese from milk collected each day on the farm. After a few hours of visiting the dairy, I was certainly keen to try some of the cheeses. But there was something else I wanted to talk about first.
This book is a Bible. How long did it take you to write?
This book started in 2008 doing research, visiting cheesemakers around the world, wherever I could, and it came out in 2009, so it took a year.
It's a brilliant, brilliant book.
Thank you.
Anyone who wants to make cheese or understand how cheese is made, absolutely brilliant, and I've got to have a copy.
Well, you can have one.
So now we've got some of your fantastic cloth-bound cheddar, which I've seen in your caves. That's this one here. Is this whole milk?
That's, we actually, depending on the fat content of the milk, we standardize the milk. That is, we take out a little bit of cream. Cheddar doesn't want to be too fatty, and sometimes our milk is upwards to 5% butter fat, which is just too greasy. You know when you melt cheddar, how it can release the oils? Well, you don't need to lose too much of that in butter fat. So we standardize this, but this has some of those little crystals. This is a, this is a several months old, but it's not an aged one.
Really good. Great texture.
When we started making cheese, cloth bandaging the cheddar, we noticed right away there was a more floral note to the cheese. Even though it's the very same recipe, if it's wax, we don't vacuum seal anything.
Oh, good.
We don't think that that's the best thing for cheese, but unfortunately it's now a lot of the production practices just include vacuum sealing for ripening. So this is what it looks like when it's been in the cave for several months. So it develops all different kinds of molds and flora, and underneath here is the cloth bandaging, larded, and so that seals the moisture in, keeps the mold and whatever else is going to be floating around in the atmosphere.
Debra and I went on to taste her whole range of cheeses, including her new raw milk cheddar, which was superb. But what I found truly remarkable is that her farm is one of only 2 in the province that makes cloth-bound cheddar.
But please keep going with the raw milk. That's very important, as you know from your beautiful book.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. That's great.
Travelling due east from the Fraser Valley through some of the state's stunning scenery, I made my way towards the Kootenay region, not far from the Idaho border and the site of my last dairy. Nestled at the foot of the stunning Skimmerhorn mountain range, not far from Creston, you'll find the Kootenay Alpine Cheese Company, started by Wayne and Denise Harris. The farm is certified organic, and all cheese is made using milk from their mixed herd of Swedish Red, Guernsey, Holstein, and Norman breeds, pastured on perennial ryegrass and clover until the winter months. The entire family is involved in maintaining the farm, with Mother Denise Harris in charge of cheesemaking. And most of this happens in the summer months.
Tell me what we're going to do.
Okay, well, we made this cheese on the 4th, so it needs to be turned. We turn the cheese every day for the first month, so
Right, okay.
it's just a simple flipping them over. So you grab the top.
Like that. Anyone can do that.
Yeah.
So you want me to do the whole lot?
Yes, please.
Okay, so which cheese is this?
The Nostrala is our youngest, mildest cheese. We make it year-round. It's a washed curd cheese. We cook it a little less. So it's a more all-around cheese. That's a sampler hole.
Yeah? No mice in here?
No.
Okay.
And then the Alpindon we make just in the summer. It's more like a Beaufort is what we're aiming for. So it's just on the summer grass.
So that has that lovely rich summer milk.
Yes.
For Denise, each day begins at 4 a.m. with cheesemaking and ends at 6 p.m. with the milking of the cows, making her average working day over 14 hours. And it's clear to me that her passion and dedication and attention to detail are a driving force in the success of this farm.
There we go, nearly finished this lot. What's next?
Well, I have to go back and do the temperature on the vat, so I thought you could just finish this room. How about that?
Me?
Yeah.
Finish the room? No problem.
Both of Denise's daughters, Erin and Nadine, also play important roles in the business. And I asked Erin, the youngest, about the farm's management and how it differed from other farms in the area.
We do a lot of intensive grazing, which is not that common in Canada. My mum actually has family in New Zealand, and that's where we got onto grazing and the way we graze. We feed a lot less grain than most dairies. We're at about 10 pounds per head per day, whereas most dairies are closer to probably 20. And basically now, especially while they've been building and things, I've been doing most of the field and crop planning and all the organic certification and things, getting all that lined up and our paperwork filled out.
My final task was to sit down with the oldest sister, Nadine, who looks after sales and marketing, to sample the farm's Nostrala and Alpindon cheeses.
That's really lovely. And is that your most successful cheese?
These are actually very equally successful, it seems. So they have different appeals. The Nostrala melts really nicely. A lot of nice restaurants are using it for raclette and fondue and things like that. And it seems to be the crowd pleaser. It's not too robust, so it's a good introductory cheese for palates that aren't as accustomed, whereas the Alpindon is more robust of the two and is really the hit with our specialty cheese shops.
Oh, let's give it a try, that one. Yeah.
And a lot of our European consumers. Yeah. It is more modeled after French Alpine styles, so closer to like a Beaufort or Comté. And this one is a year old now. It was made last June. Right. Here you go.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And the Alpindon is my favorite personally. It's a bit of a unique story in that, like Alpine styles in Europe, that are traditionally only made when the cows are on fresh pastures in the Alpine, we only make this one in the summer months.
It is sensational.
Thank you.
Sweet, concentrated, little bits of calcium lactate. Really sensational cheese.
Some nice crystallization at this age usually.
Yeah, that's really, really good. And a little bit drier than, say, a Gruyere or Beaufort. Unique.
Absolutely.
Really, really lovely.
After trying these delicious cheeses, it's easy to understand why British Columbia is fast becoming an artisan cheese destination, and this young industry seems set to expand to much greater heights in the future. Farmers markets and specialist cheese stores play a vital role in helping to spread the word, and more consumers are waking up to this quiet Canadian revolution.
Well, that's it from a very wet British Columbia. I've tasted some amazing cheese and met some wonderful people. It's going to be really interesting to see how they go over the next 10 years.
Matting.
Full of butterfat.
Full of butterfat.
Is that it? Yeah. That's pretty good. Hey, well done.
Join us for cheese slices on Salt Spring Island.
No, those. Oh.
Join us for cheese slices in British Columbia.